We come to the end of Candide. Now, last week I had said we're at the end of it. We're going to read all the way through 28. And I would have assumed that everybody had read 29 and 30, but I didn't assign that. So I'll explicitly assign that here while I'm also attaching a fabulous journal article by Roy S. Wolper called Candide Gull in the Garden. I like the question mark. Whenever I get done reading something, novel, short story, whatever, I think time and just an opportunity to reflect on it and just consider it, let it resonate. And sometimes different ideas will start to creep in. Maybe realizations or perspective might change a little bit. And so I would invite that and really just think about all of the different things that have happened over the course of this novel, and specifically how Voltaire is attacking that optimism and what is he going to try to replace it with. We kind of get some suggestion of an idea in the last page. At the same time, especially if I'm going to write an essay about what I've just read, I would want to do research on it. Before I do anything other than perhaps summarize, take notes, write some random observations, I want to see what different academics, what's already been written in journals, peer reviewed journals, and see where people are kind of coming out on this. Maybe that will even aid some of the perspective that I can gain from, other people's take on it. It's like getting other people who are reading along with me's perspective on the book overall. I think that's one of the aspects of like reading fiction or anything collectively, is that you have an opportunity to share, bounce ideas with each other. That's one of the reasons I like English classes so much, is because we do have the opportunity to go over fiction. I know I should get a hobby, join a book club, make them read Candide. Nobody wants to read Candide in a book club. I know. All right, so the very last page we have, we kind of get one of those what happened to everybody and how it all kind of ends. But I want to skip down in the second to the last paragraph, beyond just telling us that Cunegonde got ugly and Paquette took up embroidery, and get to what Pangloss would sometimes tell Candide: all events are linked together in the best of possible worlds. For after all, if you had not been driven from a fine castle by being kicked in the backside for love of Miss Cunegonde, if you hadn't been sent before the Inquisition, if you hadn't traveled across America on foot, if you hadn't given a good sword thrust to the Baron, if you hadn't lost all your sheep from the good land of El Dorado, you wouldn't be sitting here eating candied citron and pistachios. That is very well put, said Candide, but we must cultivate our garden. That last line has kind of been the hallmark of this book, as if it was Voltaire's conclusion to the entire thing. In the face of everything that Pangloss has been through, everything that he acknowledges that Candide has been through, and still attempting to provide that glossy optimism and say this has to be the best of all worlds, the practical, pragmatic approach of Candide is to turn away from that and say, actually, it's time to cultivate the garden. It's time for us to get busy. And so do some research on that and see what other people have written about that. We are going to get the opportunity to read what Wolper has said about this. I am providing a link for that. This link will take you to the Sierra College Library JSTOR link, and we'll be able to get access to it. I did it this way as opposed to putting it into a Canvas page because, well, it's probably the right thing to do since it's printed in a journal. But it also has all of the different footnotes that are necessary to kind of read the text. So we're getting to the point where we need to start thinking specifically in terms of what we're going to write, how we're going to connect Candide to our contemporary society. I mean, it's interesting to me that Wolper was writing his critique or his analysis or his essay in 1969, and he's looking back at something from the 1800s, and we're looking at it so much further after Wolper's looking at it. And if you look at it from that new historical lens, how our own environment, context, view of things changes so dramatically. I'm certain that we have a different worldview than Wolper had when he was writing this. So if his contemporary analysis or connection to his modern world might have been strikingly different than us in the digital age and so much further along, as we kind of find that same hypocrisy, or the various structures of hegemony that are still affecting the world today, and we have a different application of it. So, anyway, I want to go ahead and offer that journal reading. We're going to go ahead and finish up Candide, and we're going to start thinking about what we're going to write. Hopefully, you've got some ideas, so start doing some research. Thanks.